What's going on, everyone? Seth Miranda here, coming to you from 42 West 18th Street yet again. I know we streamed earlier this morning with Neil Leifer. You guys go check that out. He was a Sony ambassador, right? He is a Sony ambassador, I should say. But he's also around because there's a monster release here. This is not a green screen. It's 42 West 18th Street. You are always welcome here. I got Mike Bubolo with me. Yes, that's his real name.
Bubolo.
Bubolo. Yeah. Well, I'm used to calling people Bubolo, you know, so I'm always like,
Yeah, I get it.
Guys, this was a huge day in our industry. We've had a lot of releases, but this one, I mean, forget about it. We're talking about the A7R VI, the 6th generation. I remember seeing the A7R I, which did not look anything like this.
13 years ago, dude. We forget.
Jeez.
I know, it makes me feel old. So, oh, sorry.
No, it's all right.
13 years ago, we came out with the original 7R. But even then, smallest and lightest full frame camera. Now these things are huge and massive compared to what those cameras came out.
You Sony kids, and you're like, this is while this is bigger than it used to be, like this is what a camera feels like.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What I will say is everything that you could imagine from an upgrading standpoint has happened, from a flippy tilty all over articulating screen to the memory cards being Type Express Type A and SD dual.
Yep.
You're talking about 67 megapixel stacked sensor,
Fully
which
stacked.
is nuts.
Yeah.
30 frames per second, pre-capture, which is full raw, not just like a
14-bit raw in pre-capture, 14-bit raw, 30 frames per second, 8K, 4K 120p full width of the sensor, image compositing.
The only thing I care about, you now have backlit buttons, Sony.
7 backlit buttons with a customizable button on the top of the screen.
People think
they don't change color; they're just white. Because that's the first thing I get. The people are like, hey, can I make it like rainbow and stuff so it looks like my computer? I'm like, no, you cannot. It's just white. But you can dim it and you can set a timer on it. So that's cool.
I love how it's not enough, right? Like as soon as you announce something new, they're like, okay, but can it also do, you know? But I don't think people realize, like, I'm not making a joke out of this. If you were working a studio or out there in astrophotography or dark landscapes, I always have to pull up my phone so I can see what I'm doing. If you don't memorize the buttons completely. Backlit buttons
makes a difference.
It does make a difference.
I'm always wearing I'm telling you, like I told you before, like I wear like the little red light band on my head so that way I can see what I'm doing when it's the middle of the night so I don't affect my image. But now having the backlit buttons actually makes a difference. I've been asking them I've been here at Sony for 15 years. I've been asking them for 15 years. So
this camera, I think the biggest story about this is that it isn't what some people call a retread. It isn't just a firmware update.
Yeah.
It is an absolute rebuild here. We're talking about
100%
processor. We're talking about the sensor itself. I mean, even
Viewfinder, battery, like literally everything is new. So
the battery is new. So if you didn't know that, guys, the Z battery, I think they're not saying it, but I'm going to say it for him because he's going to be all marketing about it. You guys are moving on from the Z battery a little bit. Yeah. So, but I think it's important because one, if you want more processing power, you want faster readout speeds, you need physical power.
More power.
Right.
Just like even when we came out with the 7R V and we had that dedicated AI processing unit, the battery life from the 4 to the 5 went down by 25%. So like if we added more processing power now, like the battery is going to start to take a hit. So that's why now is the time to make a new battery. Even though we created the BIONZ XR2, which was almost 40% more efficient than before. So you get better battery life, faster, everything else. Having the battery life where you can shoot, I shot 7,000 shots the other day when I tried to when I was doing birds because now I'm old and gray and I guess that's a rite of passage to go birding now. But I love it. So it turned me on to shooting birds and this camera did ridiculously.
Well, you got a great lens for birding now.
That's the thing. I was like, you know what? Let me do it.
I think this lens is as exciting as the Bida 100 to 400 constant f4.5, but
internal zoom.
That internal zoom and rear filter. So for anybody that's gotten massive lenses and gone, okay, now I got to get some kind of ND or something for the front. I was telling you, they're like sewer lids, but now you've got this, but you can do a 95 in the front.
95 in front, 40.5 in the back. And like the mullet of filters.
Explain that one. I'm going to let you have your little joke today. Go ahead. If you guys are in this chat, this is the time to ask whatever question you want. I want to make sure we get the guy from Sony to answer the questions you might still have on the table. I know you saw all the videos. You saw our video from our own Sal D'Elia today. I know you probably watched Sony's own live stream. If you're in New York and you're popular, you probably already went to a Sony event to see what was going on.
And if you're not that popular, you can show up and we'll treat you like you're popular at the event tomorrow and Friday.
Yeah,
so.
It's a beautiful, if you don't know the space in New York, it's a mansion that's multiple floors next to Central Park.
Yep.
It's just gorgeous.
And there'll be photo walks all day that you can borrow the 7R Mark VI and the lens, take it for a spin.
That sounds so weird, A7R Mark VI. Man,
6 generations. That's kind of nuts.
And
13 years, that's a lot of cameras. So.
It's a lot of cameras, but we got to talk about this little elephant in the room because I think this is the biggest question. When you look at this camera specs, you look at the price point around 4,500, right? You have the A12 out there, and the specs look so similar, and we're looking at a significantly higher price point.
Yeah.
What is the actual difference? Because I thought when I heard this was coming out, I said, oh, it's got to be partially stacked, semi-stacked sensor. But no, that's a fully stacked sensor.
Fully stacked sensor.
67 megapixels.
66.8. We keep calling it 67, but, you know, we have to do it. I have a 9-year-old, so 67 megapixels. So.
We're moving on, Mike. Tell me
So
where
it is
this
a
fits.
fully stacked. So this is our 5th generation fully stacked sensor, right? So we have it in the 9 series, the 9 Mark III series. We have it now in the R series, the Alpha 1 series, and every single one is designed for a different application. The R series in this camera is designed to give you the best possible image quality. 67 megapixels, that gives you higher dynamic range, better high ISO performance, better color than we've ever had before, but we fully stacked it so you can shoot at 30 frames per second. The Alpha 1 Mark II sensor is designed for speed. So you have great resolution, but you're also significantly faster refresh rate of the sensor than this camera. So even though this camera is 6 times faster than the A7R V, we all know the A7R V wasn't very fast. This camera is a lot faster, but it's still not anywhere near as fast as the Alpha 1 Mark II. So if you're shooting super high-end professional sports, like club sports, like golf or tennis or baseball, and those clubs move at up to 200 miles an hour, you're not going to be able to capture the action fully electronic on this camera, where you would need to go to a 9 Mark III or an Alpha 1 Mark II to be able to do that.
But you are going to see some distortion in
That's
the movie.
true. You can do it, but you'll get distortion.
I just want
But
to
for
make that,
regular movement, whether it's dancing or basketball or volleyball for that instance, or wildlife, birding,
Or
you're going to be
panning.
able to use this and be able to have 30 frames per second and be able to be distortion free. But the Alpha 1 Mark II, being a flagship camera, that sensor is able to just read out faster. So the 1 Mark II does have memory built into the stack sensor, where this doesn't have memory built into the stack sensor. One of the reasons for that is that there's a higher signal to noise ratio, and we wanted this to give you the best possible image quality that you can get. So this has higher dynamic range. This has better overall imaging performance than any camera that we have. So that was a choice to make it really fast, but not quite as fast as the 1 Mark II.
Yeah, you guys always said that the A7R series was resolution, and I always thought of it more as image fidelity.
Yeah.
And I always looked at it more of a controlled situation like studio, because you're not going to push the ISO, you get all the resolution, all that kind of stuff. But you've kind of given this a lot of extra bells on it to go out of the studio and go do what you got to do with
The
it.
high ISO on this camera is insane. Like, you're going to get like noiseless 3200. You're going to
Noiseless.
get great 6400. Like, you're going to get really good high ISOs that you normally wouldn't even consider on high resolution cameras. But now you have the highest resolution camera in 35 millimeter, and you're able to do it and have insane 3200 and 6400.
You're also pulling 10-bit 8K video out of this, am I right?
Yeah.
That's, I mean, it's not just a stills camera
Or
here.
raw video out of HDMI, not internal, but out of the HDMI as well. So if you want to do that, that's nice.
Are you doing? Is it doing the same thing that's 16-bit out of the HDMI? Okay, so that's a big deal as well. I mean, I just feel like Sony's just really funny with the progression of their camera bodies. Like the next one, no matter where it is on the tier, they're like, we're throwing everything we got.
If we have it, we put it in.
Exactly.
We don't try to protect our other cameras, because to your point, if we have it, this is our latest sensor. We've been working on this camera for a long time. We're going to put that sensor in this, and it's going to be ridiculously good. So
One of the interesting things, and I always pick up the weirdest dumb things, it comes with 2 batteries,
it does.
which is pretty great. And you guys are putting out a new battery on the market.
Yeah,
so
new battery, new charger. I know that doesn't seem exciting, but it's nice that the new battery and new charger is a nice little set, because the new battery, love it or hate it, the new battery gives you more power, but it's not just about power. It gives you more stability. So when you're shooting in really low temperatures or really high temperatures, or you're shooting at 8K 30p or 4K 120p for extended periods of time, the battery load works a lot better. It's also more durable, because the old Z series battery had clips that you'd have to snap into the charger, you'd have to snap into the grip. Now it's just put it in, slap it, and it's a lot more durable than it was before. And it's more intelligent as well. So you can actually, the battery can dictate its battery health to both the charger and the camera. So that way your camera will be like, hey, there's something wrong with your battery, or your battery's only at 70% capacity, what have you. So that way you're not in the middle of a shoot and then your battery craps out. Meanwhile, the camera would have told you that your battery health is crap, and you wouldn't have used that battery.
People don't realize that the battery gauge is just telling you what it thinks it is at that moment, but not what the next two minutes could be. Where if there's an issue with the battery health, which a lot of people don't realize, conditioning of batteries. Especially
CMI can be finicky things. So.
finicky. How about people that come in here and go, I just bought this camera and the battery's kind of rough. I'm like, well, you didn't even have a charge cycle yet.
Yeah.
So until you totally condition the battery through a full charge, it's not going to activate.
Yeah.
You know, you got to break in the batteries, you guys in your life. Speaking of that, new grip.
Yep.
Right, because obviously new battery. But this looks pretty much it's the same, just with a new.
Yeah, you just have a mimicked vertical grip as you do with the regular grip, and it's just nice to have your vertical grip. So.
And what's up with the XLR adapter?
So now we introduced we have 7 new products today altogether with all the accessories and the camera. But one of the biggest accessories is the XLR A4, and this gives the ability to do 32-bit float in both this camera and the 7 Mark V.
Oh, that's great.
Which is pretty nice. And that way you can use any XLR microphone, but you do need to use the XLR A4 adapter to get that 32-bit float.
32-bit is the new hotness. So, if you guys have trouble with audio like I do, you can recover almost anything, basically.
Exactly. Everyone's been asking for it, but you do have to use the adapter. But so this camera, and we'll have an update for the 7 Mark V that will also be able to use this and get 32-bit float as well.
Is the camera itself 32-bit float?
No, you have to use this.
Okay. So are there any secret underrated features that you are wondering why people haven't been talking about with this camera? I feel like you deal with so much.
There's so many high level things in this camera. It's hard to talk about like the little stuff, but to your point, there's dual gain for video is a big thing. It's huge. The first time ever for alpha, and it's not dual gain ISO or dual gain native ISO. It's different. So dual gain is that you have the sensor in the camera, and what it does as soon as you turn on or engage dual gain in the menu, it passes the sensor and reads it twice. One for high gain, one for low gain. So instead of a normal, when you're recording video or recording stills, it just reads it once. So dual gain, it does it twice. You are slowing down the readout of the speed of the sensor, but now you're getting much higher dynamic range in your shadows and much better high ISO in your shadows for your outputted video. So if you want the highest quality video that you can get out of this camera, turn on dual gain, and you're going to get the best quality video that you can get because of dual gain. Now, there are caveats to it. It's only in 4K. It's only has a slower readout speed. In S-Log, you're only limited between 400 and 3200. So there are things that you need to be aware of, but if you meet those parameters, it is gorgeous.
Well, it's it's like a real-time HDR.
You get like 2 stops more dynamic range in your high and your low and your shadows, and you get significantly better high ISO performance.
Yeah, the only thing you can't do is stop time and space to do the second scan. And people have to realize that.
It takes time. I mean, obviously. I mean, it's still really fast, and you can do it you're not going to do it for fast action, but for most of what you're probably shooting that you want the ultimate in image quality in video, it's going to be just fine.
That's awesome.
So it's got a tally lamp on the top of the camera, so that way you can see when you're recording.
Dude, I'm psyched you guys have a sync port for flash. I was like, because you only see that in like the toppest of top end cameras usually.
The R5 had that as well.
Yeah, it's just cool that you kept it because, well, they're looking to get rid of older.
That's true, yeah.
And I don't think that if you were working in a studio that has any type of specialty type lighting, you want to use a sync port on something. So I'm a huge fan of that. Absolutely. Right? So Zach in the chat is asking, where's my mouse? Can you put some light? Oh, cute. Very cute, by the way. Can you put some light on improved 16-bit photo setting in the new camera is close or similar to Hasselblad systems? So
there's no 16-bit.
There's no 16-bit.
There's 14-bit, which is nice because you can shoot at 30 frames per second in 14-bit. The camera's 14-bit. We have lossless compressed, so that way you'll be able to just get 16 stops dynamic range even in 14-bit.
I think you're confusing the 16-bit video output through the HDMI with 16-bit stills. 16-bit is
cool.
Kind of only in medium format land as of this time. So,
but you can request that from the engineers to do 16-bit stills. I would like that too.
That's a lot of data.
It's a lot of data.
2 more of those bits. That's a lot of data.
We're already at 3 gigabytes per second when you're shooting at 30 frames per second.
Oh my gosh.
Which is a lot.
Why? At what point would someone with this camera specifically want to move to CF Express Type A versus SD?
The biggest part for me to go to CF Express Type A is the recovery rear buffer. So like, let's say I'm shooting at 30 frames per second at 67 megapixels. My buffer is almost 10 times faster recovery when you use a CF Express Type A versus an SD. Other than that, when you're in slow and quick and you're shooting 4K 120p, that's 1200 megabits per second. You need to have CF Express Type A. But that's the only time that you actually, quote unquote, need CF Express Type A, where the camera won't be able to function or do that without it. That's the only feature that you actually technically need one for. Other than that, you just get better overall performance. I mean, that buffer you don't realize, but even if you're just shooting 10 frames at a time and you want to shoot some more, you just watch that that buffer meter just instantly
just
empty
clear
itself.
out. Yeah. And I think you have to kind of get a hold of what your shooting habits are before you start realizing if you even need, because it's a significant upgrade. There's a lot of cost involved in CF Express compared to SD. But it is cool that you have an SD. Usually what you get is one faster card and SD as a slot. You guys do 2 CFX slots that could also be 2 SD slots. That's very cool.
And you can do, and it's not like you're limited. Like let's say you only have one CF Express Type A and then one SD. You can still do redundant recording. You can still do stills to one, video to the other one. You can still do a backup and overflow. So it's not like you're limited if you use 2 separate cards. So it is a pretty powerful tool.
Jay's asking about the A7R VI position versus the A12. We answered that. It's mainly readout speed, which actually does domino into other things.
It does.
So
I mean, if you're the user that just needs the ultimate in speed, or you shoot mostly professional sports, like the Alpha 1 Mark II is a flagship for a reason, right? So it does make sense.
So how about this lens? What are we talking about for minimum focusing distance? I mean, this is, I got to tell you, when I saw the spec, I didn't picture it to look like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. And it's definitely a lot more compact than I thought it was going to be, being a 4.5.
Light.
So that's the other thing. And it's balanced. It's not just light, it's balanced.
Well, that's the thing. So it's like, because we're able to, like, the balance is right here, exactly where you hold the lens. So it's the balance is all right here. You've had a lot of these types of lenses where if all the weight's up front, no matter how light it is, it just starts to wear on you over time. And when you're using a lens like this, you're using it outside for extended periods of time. So that kind of,
and the lens mount takes stress.
Well, exactly. But the lens, the idea behind this is that really there's kind of sort of never been something like this before, where now we have these lenses like the 50 to 150 f2 and the 28 to 70 f2, where the optics give you sharpness that honestly rival prime lens quality. And this is the first time doing it for us in a super telephoto lens, where you're going to be able to have crazy sharpness, but in a zoom lens, constant aperture, internal zoom, but the same ergonomics and operability as our professional prime lenses. So when you're looking here, it looks just like a 300, a 400, or 600. You have the huge zoom ring. Well, there's no zoom rings on the other one's huge, but that has a huge focus ring. And it's a really short throw. One thing that you want to be able to have is you want to be able to go from 100 to 400 really fast. You have the function ring here that you can customize. You click it to go to Super 35.
It's like a rocker.
Yeah. You can even do powered manual focus with this. There's 4 customizable buttons. There's a Kensington lock in here. Like everything is on here. Oh, this switch here, so you can go tight. So that way this can be a little bit tighter, a little bit looser.
So you can increase,
if you have it on smooth, it can travel and creep on you if you have it held like this.
So it's the resistance of the focus ring. It's more like it can increase the dampening, basically.
Exactly.
Which is very cool.
I mean, this lens, to be honest, is
the zoom ring,
just as impressive as the camera, just because nothing like this has been done before. It's kind of that, I don't want to say hybrid, but we've had great super telephoto lenses like the 200 to 600, the 400 to 800, and we've had those fixed lenses, but we never kind of had that bridge lens that kind of gave you professional operability and quality, but in a zoom lens. I'll be honest, using this with a 1.4x adapter is insane. Like the sharpness was unbelievable. The autofocus was unbelievable. It's a choice now between the 200 to 600 or this with the 1.4.
It's tough. That's tough.
I would shoot this with the 1.4.
The way I look at it is with the 2 to 600s is like, yeah, that's a lot of reach, but unless you're always going out to go shoot birds, something like that, this you would carry with you. This I could see runway. I could see a lot of like any type of catalog work they need to separate from an environment very easily.
I'm glad you brought that up, because people only be like, this is just for sports, just for wildlife. It's for editorial. It's people use it for portraits. Like this can be a lens that's used a lot more than just portraits. 200, a lot more than just wildlife.
Yeah, and 200 on a full frame setup. I said this in one of my videos on my channel. It has this perfect distance ratio that for a lookbook of some kind, you get like mid shin to like their head, perfect, and it just rips them out of whatever background. And you have 1 to 400 to mess with here, plus the 4.5, plus because it's so long and you can step closer, you get a shallower look when you want it. Yes, it's a big lens for that kind of, but you could do it.
Yeah,
you could do it. You know what I mean? There's a question in the chat from Kevin. He's asking, he heard about pre-capture the first time with the A9 III. And he wants to know, how does the new camera pre-capture compare to that? Better, same? Is there a
So the 9 Mark III is our, I don't want to say our best pre-capture, but it is our best pre-capture because you have more settings, where that can go to 3/1000th of a second pre-capture because you're at 120 frames per second. So even 3/1000th of a second is a frame. So now you're able to go to a full second and you're able to narrow it down to 3/100ths of a second.
Yeah.
So if you're shooting at 30 frames per second, that's 1 frame to 30 frames. But you can do it at any frame rate. Let's say you're shooting at 5 frames per second. I can do my pre-capture at 5 frames per second. You're not just limited to only 30 frames. You're not limited to only JPEG. You're not limited to, you really don't have limitations, and you can really make it work for whatever workflow you have, which is nice. And also has speed boost, because God only knows that you don't need 30 frames per second all the time.
Yeah.
So you can set up this I like to set up my custom button on the back of the camera, so I can be shooting at 5 frames per second, holding down my shutter. And then let's say action happens. I can just press and hold down this AF on button, and now I'm shooting at 30 frames per second until I let go, and now I'm back at 5 frames per second.
Very cool.
So that way you don't have to go into your shooting at 30 frames per second just in case action happens, So
Yeah, I see a lot of people leaving the motor drive on all the time.
all the time.
My favorite one is
They
when
get home, they're like, how do I look at these images?
Oh, the better one is when they show up to like a hands-on workshop and you hand them a remote for a strobe, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Ah!"
Yeah.
It's just like, and you're like, what are you doing?
Why did half my frames be black?
Oh, why is everyone having a seizure? Like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Man, this one, I gotta say though, I think this is probably the midpoint between everything you got coming out that's out on the Sony product line. Really, I think this hits the midpoint of everything.
It's kind of like, if you think about it, you have the fastest readout speed of any camera in the world, which is the 9 Mark III, right? And then you have the 1 Mark II, which is right there in the middle. It's extremely fast. And then you have this camera that's fully stacked. That's just not quite as fast as those others. But then you see this, and this is the highest resolution. And then you have, and the best image quality, the Alpha Mark II's middle image quality. And then you have the 9 Mark III lowest. So you have a kind of like that X. So it's really deciding what camera is designed for you, what you shoot mostly, and then be able to figure out which camera works best for you.
It's also a really
this
cool,
fits a lot of people. So
it's a cool upgrade path for someone from like an A7 IV.
yeah.
And for that upgrade path to go to something like this.
Oh yeah. Or even the R4, like the 7.4, the R4. So that way it's a huge step up, and it's the next generation of alpha cameras, because you don't have to have resolution limiting you, I guess, in a way, in terms of getting faster frame rates, where you can do that now. So,
Yeah.
and not everyone needs 30 frames per second, but it's
fun.
it goes beyond just 30 frames per second. It's the fact that now it's an electronic shutter camera, that you can be silent and you can shoot differently than having a mechanical shutter. So, and that just changes the way you shoot.
What's top on mechanical?
8,000th of a second.
But I'm talking about frame rate.
Oh, 10 frames.
10 frames a second.
So, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and it's also just good to have a mechanical shutter for the times where you don't want to have any trade-off for the electronic shutter.
If you're doing flash, you have to use a mechanical shutter. There's no electronic shutter for flash. So
even with a stacked sensor?
Correct. So the 1 Mark II and the 9 Mark III can do electronic shutter for flash, but this cannot.
Oh, interesting. Is there a reason for that?
You can on this. I don't know what the reason is.
That's interesting. I thought, because
it could just be the readout speed of the sensor. The readout speed of the sensor, we don't put out milliseconds, but so far I've seen some from reviews that I'll quote that the readout speed is about 12 to 15 milliseconds. So, which should be fast enough for flash, but I don't know.
Never know. Maybe there's a firmware update out there somewhere. Who knows?
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, there's dual USB-C ports on this, which I think is becoming like the next thing going forward. Power delivery and data, obviously.
So one's 10 gigabits per second, one's 480 megabits per second. One's megabytes per second, 10 megabytes per second. But and then they're both power delivery, which is nice. So that way you can do it. And then if you have pocket wizards or whatever, you can put that on the low end and then put power delivery at the same time.
So this doesn't have Ethernet port, but technically I could do Ethernet to USB-C.
100%.
Yeah. So then you have the other USB-C port available, which is great, you know?
Yeah, 10 gigabits per second is faster than most Ethernet ports.
Yeah. Guys, if you're in this chat, let us know if you have any questions. That's the whole point of this, is that you guys get whatever is left on the table that you're wondering about, either Sony in general. I got Mike here, so you might as well scrape his skull out a little bit.
There's little tiny things, like when you look through the viewfinder, there's a new level that's always in the viewfinder. It tells you the time of date with the seconds and the milliseconds in the viewfinder.
I always need
just like to myself, man, what's the milliseconds?
I can't do this. I can't do this job without milliseconds. What are we doing?
423. I don't care what it is in minutes. I want to know the milliseconds.
But that's basically time code.
Correct. That's what it's like. It's just little. There's so many little tiny things in this camera. It makes a huge difference. Other little things, let's say raw image composite. So we have 3 different ways of doing raw image compositing. You can do pixel shift multi-shooting, so that way you can get a 257 megapixel file by combining you combine 16 raw images in Imaging Edge Desktop to give you 257 megapixel file,
which is massive, by the way.
But you know that these are traditional sensors that each pixel only records red, green, or blue. When you do pixel shift, it actually can move the stabilization unit one pixel at a time. So that way every pixel records red, green, and blue. So you're not just getting huge resolution, you're also getting significantly higher color depth, which is also very cool.
Which is really good, which people don't realize this, but that's really good for if you're doing something like documenting artwork or referential stuff like archiving, which is huge. I mean, every museum here in Manhattan has to deal with that, you know, or if you're a gallery or whatever you're doing, just know you have that ability, because remember that whole complaint, like, oh, when is pixel shift going to come to mind? Like now it's like, you know, but it's also a huge file. Like it's really big. So
it is a tremendous file, but it's worth it to get that ultimate in image quality. I do it for landscapes all the time, to be honest. So macro would be nice. It does have focus stacking for macro as well, which is nice. Yeah. You can even combine up to 32 images for noise, for lower noise reproduction, to give you 4 stops less noise, which is also cool. And 32 image HDR, which is insane. Jeez. You don't have to do 32, but you can do up to 32.
Yeah, that's a lot though. 32 image HDR. That's a lot of, wow, man.
You can do instant in camera HDR with DRO, but that's instant on your file without having to bring in any other software, but no in-camera pixel shift.
You've also, with that pixel shift, you get that stabilization, right? So 8.5 stops of stabilization, which is fantastic.
Which the previous camera was 8. This is 8.5, which doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but there's twice as good roll compensation. I know, right? So when you're using it, there's a significant difference in terms of your performance of your in-body stabilization, more than just a half a stop.
Oh man, Mike, you're one of my faves, man. You know what's funny, because Mike has to get up there in the most high pressure environments on these stages with all the Sony gods staring upon him and the entire media circus staring at him to go, all right, what do you got? And he has to go this, he's straight laced, he's doing the thing. Then when you get Mike off stage, he's hilarious. I love this. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I think this is a really, first of all, when you were reading off the specs to me, I was kind of like, what? What? And then like, well, that's got to be it, right? And I was like,
I remember reading the specs when I first got it. And, you know, I don't see the camera yet. And I'm like, what is happening right now? Like, this can't be right.
It looked like a rumor site.
Yeah.
And then, you know,
I was like, it's got to be partially stacked, right? No, they're like, no, it's
I totally thought the whole time you guys were going to release a partially stacked sensor. Nope. This is a big deal to have a stacked sensor.
Even the viewfinder was, again, everything has been updated. So like we can just keep going on and on. I'll keep remembering different things. So the viewfinder is completely new as well. So it's 3 times, right? It's still 9.44.
Oh, please.
Yeah. But it's 3 times brighter than before, which gives you a big deal. So it's now full HDR HLG 10 viewing through the viewfinder, and it's completely DCI P3 colors,
which is huge because DCI P3 is Apple color space. You'll be seeing the actual color from where you're going to be editing from, most likely.
Exactly. Everything else that's out there is sRGB, and sRGB is 25% less color space, a quarter of a less color space than what's in this viewfinder. So you're going to be able to see full HLG viewing through the viewfinder, 3 times brighter.
It's just LCD P3 also?
LCDs have been DCI P3 for a while.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but now your viewfinder matches. I don't know why it would be I thought if you figured it would be the reverse.
Dude, just having the tilt, not having to decide.
You found the one thing that we didn't update. The LCD screen and the movement's exactly the same, but now it's got vertical UI when you go vertically, so that's cool.
Oh, so all your menus around, not menus, but all your data around the edge.
Menus too. Not your menu, but like so when you turn it on, your menu, did we already run out?
You took the battery out.
Oh, I took it out.
See it sitting in front of you?
Yeah.
Sony guys, you know?
Yeah. That's how the cool kids do it. You turn it like this. There you go. There you go.
Look at that.
Oops. It's durable. It's cool.
Well, it's all slow, right?
Yeah, so with the all like your modes there, you can swipe in, you can swipe out. Even when you go into your function menu, it's all going to be vertical as well.
Nice.
So it's a nice little tweak to have
in this ever-growing vertical world that we have. Oh my gosh, I'm so, oh man.
I say we should just make a square 36 by 36 sensor and then poof.
We should go back to the old TVs that were square. Just that's how we broadcast it. That's it. Don't worry about it. You need vertical.
700 pounds.
Yeah. They're going for a lot of money.
They do.
Well, people are trying to recreate retro gaming, and you think it's stupid till you watch someone play, until you look at, I can't believe getting into this, but a retro game on a modern LCD looks absolutely worse than onto a CRT.
100%. The old CRTs is, man.
The line banding, the whole thing. And now they have filters put in, so it can actually make a filter in there to make everything look like a CRT.
Crap. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're going to want anyway, right?
That's what people say. They're like, if I have one piece of feedback, is that images just look too good these days. They want it to look crappier. I'm like, well, it's easy to make something look crappier.
Right. You start with the most fidelity and you work backwards. Like, what are you kids doing? Oh man, I mean, Mike, I can't thank you enough for coming through today. I know you're having a hectic day. I mean, this is literally launch day, and you've had this huge event uptown here in New York. But I just wanted to get on here and give you guys like a kind of like your chance to get whatever was left out there that you weren't sure about asked, because this is how we do it. Instead of me going like, I'll ask them. It's like, no, here's the guy. If you guys are new here, don't forget to hit subscribe. We do this all the time. We did one for the
7 Mark V.
The A7R V, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we did that. Oh man, that was not.
I think we'll have to have a follow up for this too, because everyone's going to have more questions and stuff moving forward. So in that one, we'll be able to tell people farther in advance than what, an hour.
Yeah,
so.
I know. I think next time, hopefully, what we'll
it's
do.
Not their fault. It's our fault.
Yeah, well, it's everybody's fault. If I'll tell you what, next time maybe we'll actually have a shoot going on with this. We'll shoot tethered, see what's going on with this thing, get some image, really see what the image is doing. But so far, I mean, on paper, this thing is just bananas. But clearly, the only thing we care about is backlit buttons. That's the only thing I care. I mean, you think I'm joking, man?
I've been waiting.
You,
I've been asking forever.
I've been waiting for you guys to have backlit buttons. Oh my god!
Sal's video was incredible. His review on it was incredible.
I'll put the Sal's video in the chat.
And if you're in New York, New Jersey, Long Island, Connecticut, wherever you are, if you want to come to our space and look at Alpha in Residence, come to the Academy Mansion tomorrow and the next day, and you can use the camera, you can use the lens, you can borrow it for a while, and put it through its paces on your own. Put a memory card in there and check it out.
Yeah, and then
bring a memory card though, please. Dude, we don't have any to give away. Memory's expensive these days. But.
You guys make memory cards though. Come on. Let me throw this link in the chat for you guys so you can check it out. Apple V? Nope. Apple V. Sorry guys, this is my second stream of the day, and I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
Although Neil Leifer was a really great stream.
He's awesome.
What?
I wish I could have been. I wish I was part of that.
Well, you can watch the playback, you know.
Well, I can watch it.
You know,
I want to be there.
I mean, we booked it 2 months ago, and he's like, I got a hard out at noon because Sony has something going on. I can't tell you about it. I'm like, Neil, I know, Neil. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Actually, Eric is asking, when will this be on display tomorrow at the Sony? You can go to the Sony event, has it on display for sure. When it will be on display in Adorama, I got to be honest with you. Actually, Jim.
No, don't ask him. He doesn't know.
He doesn't know?
We're not sure. Probably not for another couple weeks.
Yeah, because they got to do pre-orders first.
Well, not only that, but like we just, after this event, then we have other events and stuff. So, but we'll be able to get him in here, and we'll be able to have your rep come in with the camera. We can have a 7R 6 day and 100 to 400 day. That'd be kind of fun.
We could totally do that.
So, yeah.
I think, who knows? We always do those hands-on workshops, and we'll do another sports workshop and pull one of these guys out. I don't know. We get a little crazy with it. It exists now. Now we can play with it, you know? I think this is going to be a rental house special for sure. I think
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just like easy to stock, easy to grab.
Yeah.
You know, it won't be a huge expensive rental. So Adorama Rentals, keep watching them. Man, I think I'm going to leave it there, guys. If you guys have any questions about this going forward, leave a comment down below. We'll do our best to answer it, but check out the link down below for the full specs. As always, check out Sal D'Elia's video on Adorama TV, which is the main channel. This is the Adorama Events channel, which we stream everything out of this event space too. So if you guys want like 2 to 3 years of free classes, it's sitting there for you guys. We're almost at 100K, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. All right, Mike, always good to see you. We'll stay up on this young lad, see where he's going.
Yeah. Throw some more questions in here, and we'll answer them as much as we can. So,
all right, guys, congratulations to all you Sony kids out there. Yeah, you have a new one.
Even if you're not Sony, you are now. Check it out. No.
Check it out, yeah. Mike. Oh, in all seriousness, congratulations. This is a massive update to a legacy line for the Sony Alpha series. I think the A7R has been like probably one. It was the flagship before there was a flagship. Does that make sense to you?
Of course,
yeah. So we'll totally check this out and stay up. We'll probably do some more events from here. Mike, very good, man. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one tomorrow. Joe Addison is live with LED versus strobe. Hit subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll see you on the next one, guys. Be good. Later.